Good afternoon, everyone, and I'd like to welcome you to today's webinar on new ocean bottom seismometer exploration for crustal imaging. My name is Daniel Lottery, and I'm excited to be your moderator. And also, I'm excited to have you all here for today's session. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment to set the tone for the event. So, actually, we are here to learn, to engage, and to share knowledge. I encourage you all to ask questions. Don't be shy, just ask questions, participate in the discussions, and also to make the most of this chance to connect and network with each other and our speaker. So let's all just settle in and get ready for today's topic. I'll be sharing a link for you to record your attendance. That will help us to give you guys the certificate. So please do check the chat box. All right, so I'd like to introduce today's speaker. He's of the person Dr. Zingwei Niu. Dr. Niu is an associate researcher at the Second Institute of Oceanography in China and holds a PhD in structural geology from Zhejiang University. With expertise in ocean bottom seismometer data processing, earthquake P and S wave velocity and anisotropy, and crustal and upper mantle structures. We need the continental margins, mid-ocean ridge, and the subduction zones. He's well regarded as an expert researcher in this field. Dr. Niu has also been a visiting scholar at Tohoku University in Japan and the School of Ocean and Earth Science at the University of Southampton National Oceanography Centre in the UK. He has also published multiple papers in prestigious journals such as the Geophysical Journal International, Acta Oceanologica Sinica, and Journal of Geophysical Research, Solid Earth. I am looking forward to his talk and eager to learn something new and exciting from him. So without further ado, please let us welcome Dr. Zingwei Niu.
Thank you, Daniel. So I'm very sorry for the software problem on my side. I would like to start my presentation now. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for your attending. Thanks for the organization of the Geological Society, Malaysia. Thanks for the invitation from Dr. Halim and Dr. Hafiz. Thanks for the chair. I'm Xiongwei Niu from the Second Institute of Oceanography, Ministry of Natural Resources, China. I'm glad to give a talk about the new ocean bottom seismometer exploration for crustal imaging in Arctic Ocean Gecko Ridge. This work was done by the Joint Arctic Scientific Mid-Ocean Ridge Insight Expedition Group. We also call the Jasmine Group. Can I ask Daniel, can you hear me clearly, or the screen is okay?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, thank you. There are three parts in my talk. First is the scientific aims. We all know we live on the Earth. To the earthquake studies, now we know there are layers inside the Earth. The LDP drilling project can get the rocks in the Earth, but not through even the topmost layer, the crust. If we would like to know better about the inside Earth, the oceanic crust may be the better option, because you see the oceanic crust is much thinner than the continental crust. The oceanic crust covers more than two-thirds surface of the Earth, with an average thickness of 6 kilometers. The oceanic crust is normally much younger. From zero age, I will like it always to see. From the zero age to no more than about 340 million years, because they may consumed in the subduction zone. The oceanic crust generated under different spreading rates, like the fast, medium, slow, ultra slow. Our study area, the Gecko Ridge, is an ultra slow spreading ridge. A good place to learn the oceanic crust and the inner Earth is the mid-ocean ridge, because it is where the oceanic crust generated, where is active earthquakes occurred, where materials and energy exchanged between hydrosphere and lithosphere. According to previous study, we can see the crust thickness varies with spreading rates and ages. The place of zero age were located at the mid-ocean ridge, and the ultra slow or slow spreading ridge are the most variable place. So we select the ultra slow spreading Gecko mid-ocean ridge to study. Plenty of active source and passive source OBS studies have done around the seafloor. The red lines and dots represents OBS exploration. The blue are multi-channel seismic profiles locations. We can see there is almost no OBS studies in the Arctic Ocean, the Gecko Ridge. I think after my explanation about the steps of OBS active source exploration, you may find where there is no OBS study in the Arctic Ocean. The OBS active source exploration are very similar like the medicine computer tomography, we also know as CT, like this. We have 3 steps. First, we deploy the OBS one by one to the seafloor. The OBS is falling freely to the seabed. There is no cable. Second, we use the air gun for shooting. The OBS at the seabed will receive the direct sounds from the water, sorry, and the reflected sounds from the crust and the upper mantle. Finally, we recover the OBS one by one. It will freely ascending to the sea surface, and then we move the research vessel to catch it. You will see the OBS can go with the sea, go with the water. Then I think you will know in the Arctic Ocean, the heavy ice flow is a big challenge to deploy the OBS, shooting and recover OBS. Previously study told that maybe it is impossible to do the OBS active source study there. Previously, seismic deep structure studies used a different method to do it. They most focused on the west part of the Gecko Ridge. This is the bathymetry of the Gecko Ridge in the Arctic Ocean. This is the location. As far as I know, we think there are 3 studies before us. The 1979 FRAME-1 isolation refraction seismic study is the first one. They use only one OBS like this with a cable. They use the helicopter help to deploy explosive package for source. A simple result was get a very thin crust, about 2 to 3 kilometers around the Gecko Ridge, because this study is not exactly at the Gecko Ridge because the ice flow are moved every time. The second one is the famous Amur cruise. They put the OBS on the ice flow, use a 24-liter air guns for source. The crust was imagined with only one side, most only controlled by one OBS. They found the crust of the west part of the Gecko Ridge is also very thin, and the lake of oceanic crust layer 3. They also judged peridotite at the seabed. The green dots represent the peridotite, which means the lake of magma supply in the west part of the Gecko Ridge. The Gale cruise. They deployed the OBS array on the ice flow. It is a passive seismic study. They only recorded the macro earthquakes, which were used to invert about 7 kilometer thickness crust. They also gave an explanation about how the magma ascending. As a summary, previous studies never deployed dense OBS to the seabed to get high-resolution crustal structures beneath the Gecko Ridge. Most of the results show a thin crust. The crust thickness at the ultra-slow spreading ridges show a different imagine from the other spreading centers. The red star is also our work done at the ultra-slow spreading southwest Indian Ridge. We found that the crust thickness is very thick. So our main scientific aim is high-resolution crustal structures beneath the Gecko Ridge. The figure shows the 4 possible geological models for oceanic crust, layer 3, and the oceanic moho. We want to know whether or not the crustal structure beneath the Gecko Ridge is similar with these models or not. Next, I will show how we done the OBS data acquisition. But before the sliders, I will show a video first. Sorry for that, we only have the Chinese characters in the video. This is the day we start our cruise. The Pacific Ocean. Today we are going into the we met several bears. One bear with 2 kids, another with 2 kids. You will see it is very hard to cross the ice floe. It's very heavy. You have to try many times. We would like to see what is beneath the ice floe. It is always snowing. The wind is heavy. Okay, thank you. After that, I think everyone will have first imagine about the Arctic Ocean. Then I will show how we done our OBS data acquisition in this condition, in this environment. I will repeat these slides. We would like to try to do the 3 steps in the Arctic Ocean. But when we arrive at the Gecko Ridge, we are shocked. So we know there may be ice floes, but we never thought it is almost 100% ice floe. So we met very big challenges. How to deploy OBS at the designed position. When shooting, how to avoid the air guns destroyed by big ice floes. How to find and recover OBS beneath the 100% of ice floes. Luckily, we have a very good icebreaker. We use the icebreaker research vessel 雪龙2. Whose polar class is PC3. 雪龙2 can break ice up to about 1.5 meters thick. And both the head and the tail can do ice breaking. Many times we use the icebreaker to make a water pole to recover or deploy OBS like this. We also developed new techniques to solve other problems. First, the OBS positioning technique. We made a new OBS, installed ultra short baseline beacon, which can be located precisely within 1 meter area. We recorded each steps, each moves of the OBS descending and ascending. So it is impossible for us to miss the OBS like this kind. This is the map view of the OBS move down and descending and ascending. We also developed the short baseline to position other kind of OBS. So all the OBS can be located. This is our short baseline. Because with the 雪龙2, the research vessel has a very big moon. We use the two kinds of positionable ocean bottom seismometers. We have 36 OBS. We developed the underwater seismic source. This is our gun sled, which can make sure the seismic source will work at about 6 to 20 meters beneath the sea surface. We use the 4 cables, the red lines, to protect the gun sled can be safely recovered. The total energy of our air gun source is about 67 liters. The main frequency of source is 4 to 8 hertz. You will see now it's shooting, and the source is underwater. Although there is a lot of as big as flows, we can done it. We also find a method may be useful to search and recover OBS. We use the remote operated vehicles, the ROV, which can help to scan OBS, search OBS, and grab OBS. Use this. This is the view of beneath the sea ice flow. After the preparation, our expedition started. First, we developed the OBS. Why we didn't put the OBS at the back deck? Because it is very cold. In order to save the battery, we store the OBS in a warm place. It's a little far away from the back deck, so we have to move it by human beings. Okay, we deploy it. The OBS was down into the sea. Most of the time, we cannot find a water pole to deploy the OBS. We have to use the icebreaker to make the water pole. Sometimes we are lucky, we can deploy the OBS directly to the water pole. After OBS deployment, we started to shorting. Because we only have one research vessel, we have to make a waterway first, and then turn back for shooting. We breaking the ice first, and they about maybe 10 kilometers or 30 kilometers, and then we turn back for shooting. After that, when we keep at breaking, which not only consumed a lot of time, but also left very impressive memories to us. This method, the shooting method in the heavy ice flows areas. We experienced the 4 conditions. This one is very lucky, the lucky mode. I call it a lucky mode. When we turn back for shooting, we found that the waterway is broadened. We can only find the very small ice flows. The shooting is very happy. But we only have about 40 or 65 kilometers long profiles for this kind of conditions. The other condition is the crater mode. When we turn back for shooting, we found the waterway is also broadened, but the very big ice flow are still there. We cannot we can move, but we are under very big risk for shooting, because the very big ice flow will always broken the cables. With this cable is very easy to be broken. We call it a crater mode. We have this condition for about 155 kilometers long. The other 2 conditions are much worse. When we turn back for shooting, we found the waterway turn narrow. Luckily, the ice flow are still small. We can shooting, but we can only shooting very slow because the waterway is narrow. For this mode, we call it cry mode. It's about 120 kilometers long. The last one is the worst one, and we call it a heartbroken mode. When we turn back for shooting, we cannot find the waterway. Even we just walk away, we just came back. Maybe 1 hour or minutes before, we just walk through. When we turn back, there is no waterway. The ice flow are very, very big. For this time, we have to stop. So you will see later, when you see our OBS profile, you will see there are some blank zone because we cannot shooting for along all the profile. We have to stop for this condition. You will see the air gun are almost on the ice flow. This is a balloon to keep the air gun underwater. After the shooting, we have to recover OBS. For the 4 sets of new OBS with USBL beacon, we use the USBL to locate the ascending process of the OBS. When the OBS arrives the surface, of course beneath the ice flow, you will see it's there. We can preciously, we can clearly know where it is, but we cannot see it sometimes, like this. So we have to broken the ice to find it. And for the last 37 sets of OBS, we use the SBL, the short baseline, installed in the moon pool to locate the OBS. Luckily, we found 37 sets of OBS. We deployed 38 sets of this kind of OBS. when we found it, they sometimes still beneath the ice. This is the moment we recover the OBS, because even the icebreaker can move easily to everywhere, but we cannot go everywhere. Indeed, sometimes we have to recover the OBS at the back deck, sometimes at the middle deck, sometimes at the front deck. It's quite high, so we use very long tools to recover the OBS. The OBS are a little heavy, so maybe we need several people to help. Yeah, this is the moment we recover the OBS. When we recover, we take a photo to memory this moment. Okay, as a result, we deployed about 43 OBS and recovered 42 OBS. The recovery rate is 97.7%. We have done 3 seismic profiles, 2 profiles along the ridge axis, 1 profile across the ridge axis. The total length of the profile is about 400 kilometers, with more than 5,000 shows. We have got preliminary results. And these figures show the OBS data, OBS seismic data and the retracing. The first panel is the OBS data. The second panel is the fitting, the retracing and the fitting covered the OBS data. You will see we fit the OBS data very well. Here, and this is the same. In the OBS data, we find the water wave, directly water wave, and the refraction data from the crust, we call it PG, and the reflection data, reflection signals from the borehole, we call it PMP, and the refraction signals from the upper mantle, we call it PN. This is the rays. This is the other station. We find the same phases. I will show some other stations. For this station, we also have clearly water wave and PG and PMP and PN. For OBS 16 is also clearly PG, PMP, and PN. Our final crustal PV velocity model along the axis, ridge axis. This is the location of the OBS. You will see there are about 25 OBS. This is our final model. You will see there are 5 layers in the model. The seawater, the sediment layer, the oceanic crust layer 2, the oceanic crust layer 3, and the upper mantle layer. The main changes occurred at the we can see besides the sediment, the crust thickness varies a lot, from about 3.8 to about 7.7 kilometers. The main changes occurred at the oceanic crust is the layer 3. You will see the layer 3 beneath the segment ends here and here are almost absent. Oh, I will say this is the topography along the ridge axis. You will see this is the very high topography. This is high, low, and we call this segment center. This segment ends. This is segment center. This is segment ends. This is also segment ends. The main difference may indicate the magmatic accretion is focused at segment centers, and the melt is delivered to the segment end, perhaps only by lateral dike propagation, as mentioned by Min Shu et al. 2006. The Crustal p-wave velocity model across the ridge axis. You will see the topography changed a lot across the ridge axis. The most thick part was at the 0 edge in the middle of the profile. It's about 7.7 kilometers. We use the ridge density analysis to show our model is reliable. We will see most part of the model, the ridge density is about more than 80, or even bigger than 100. As a result, we think the crust thickness at Gecko Ridge in our study area is vary from about 3 kilometers to more than 7 kilometers, rather than previous studies which shown the thin crust. We also compared our velocity structure with the normal oceanic crust. Sometimes the mouse cannot be seen. We compared with the normal oceanic crust, the serpentinite, and the ODP drilling results. The velocity beneath segment centers, the red lines, shows a little slow. The velocity are little slow than the normal oceanic crust, than the gray zone. Sorry, we assume that there may be a serpentinite in the black rectangle here, and the color of the lines, the color of the circles are the same as the color of lines in the left panel. You will see the red lines represent the crust velocity from the segment centers. The blue lines from the segment ends. The yellow and the green from the data from across the axis. This is the south, this is the north. We are trying to use the P-wave velocity gradients to study the crustal lithological structures. The VP gradients of Gecko ridge layer 3 at segment centers is quite small. You will see at segment centers, the VP gradients is about, I put the Gecko ridge results here. It's about no more than 0.2. But the VP gradients of the Gecko ridge layer 3 at segment ends is high. It is in the range of the serpentinite or normal oceanic crust layer 2. You will see it's here. It's about 1.5 with the error bar. According to this figure, we will see the segment centers are in the range of layer 3, which is the normal oceanic crust layer 3, which means the gabbro is rock type. But for the segment ends, there may be two options. One is the serpentinite, and the other is according to the former slide, we give results. We give the possible interpretation of the varied crustal structures. For this model, the rock types are different at layer 3 beneath the segment ends and the segment centers. Focused magma supply generated thick crust. You will see it's much thicker. Beneath segment centers with gabbro, the color, the yellow one is gabbro. Lake of magma supply at the segment ends. In layer 2 is made of basalt with force, which allows seawater falling into the upmantle and to generate the serpentinite. This is our initial interpretation. And maybe there is no basalt in layer 2 beneath the segment ends, because we also found the serpentinite maybe just occurred at the sediment basement. As the Amur cruise, they have just dredged the peridotite at the seabed. And for the future work, in order to make our results more reliable, we would like to finish the S-wave structures later. You will see in our OBS data, we see a lot of, we see the clearly S-wave. We'll see S-wave is here, here, and here. So we can use the P-wave and S-wave and the Python ratio then to study the formation of the Gecko, the oceanic crust in Gecko ridge. Before the end, I would like to show another video of Aurora. When we turn back to at the end of our expedition, it will, the Arctic Ocean will turn dark, and then we can see the Aurora. When we walk at the Gecko ridge, it's always daytime. And it's quite beautiful. Okay, that's all. Thank you very much. Thanks for your attention. You are all welcome to ask questions. Hello. 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 Hi. Daniel, can you hear me?
Hello. Hello, Dr. Nee.
Oh, okay, I can hear you. Okay.
All right, all right. I'm Bennett Nitaketu. I'm actually taking over Daniel because he has another engagement. So would like to thank Dr. Nee for such a wonderful and informative presentation. And for now, we would like to open the floor for any questions. So anyone in the audience to, if you have any question about the presentation.
Pardon, I'm not quite follow you.
All right. I was saying that we would like to thank you for such an informative presentation, and would also want to open the floor for questions. I believe Dan wants to ask a question.
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So yeah, first I would like to thank you very much for your talk. It's very interesting work. It's it's with a lot of difficulties, but you succeeded in getting very nice data. So thanks very much. It's very interesting too. Then I had a question about what happens between the segments. In fact, where we found very thick crust. Okay. In between you find thin crust, and either this thin crust is in fact layer 2, or it might be just, well, not just, but it might be exhumed mantle or something like this. So my question was that, do you have some other insights, other information which could be helpful for helping to interpret this part of your data? I mean, do you have access to other, for example, seismic reflection data or sort of thing, or which could help you to to find some geometries in the top basement that could possibly arc for detachment or something like this, or anything else that could help you to decide if it's layer 2 or exhumed mantle?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much. It's a very good question. You mean your question is about the oceanic crust layer 2?
Yeah, in between the thick segments where you found thin, about 4 kilometers. What you think is maybe layer 2 or serpentinized mantle. It's difficult to, at the time being, it's difficult to decide if it's layer 2 or serpentinized exhumed mantle. So I thought maybe there are other data that shows one or two good information what could happen there. For example, if I know there are some Russian data showing some reflections from the top basement, and maybe I don't know. I don't know if it's the same area or not, but maybe in some parts you can see some geometries of the top basement that could possibly arc for, I don't know, exhumed detachments or this sort of thing.
Okay. I think maybe I see. Indeed, there are several multi-channel seismic profiles around here, but not exactly here. And
okay.
but you see, I will show you the photo. Because of the ice flow, even the multi-channel seismic here can the cable are very short, maybe only no more than 500 meters. So they can only get the very shallow parts of the crust. Sometimes just around the basement. So for the crust, the oceanic crust, there is no other information before.
Oh, okay. I understand that you cannot see the mohole with some reflection with some shallow, very short seismic decision. Yeah, but no, I was rather thinking about the type of top basement. Sometimes you have specific geometries. Some you see like oceanic core complexes, this sort of thing, that could possibly arc for some detachment, some this sort of thing. I was thinking about this because in your cross line you have quite a rough relief.
Yeah,
and
yes.
Of course, this is exaggerated and because of you have to show all data in one slide. But if you put this in a exaggeration which is reasonable, then maybe you think some typical geometries. I don't know.
We would like to use more data, but indeed for this study area, very little this kind of data. This is maybe the first kind of data for the deep structure or even the bathymetry, even the bathymetry under the sediments.
Okay.
Before
okay.
we come here, the bathymetry is also the new data for us.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So it's quite new. So it's very interesting. Anyway.
Thank you. We can maybe because my poor oral English, maybe we can discuss via email or some other ways. Okay.
All right, thank you, Dr. Ani, for that explanation. The floor is still open. Any other question for Dr. Ani? All right, I think we have one more question from, okay, I'm seeing a lot of, okay, Robin. Hello, Robin, can you hear me?
Hello, please go ahead.
Okay, Dr. Niels, Dr. Daniel, could we go back to slide 41?
Okay, which 41? 41?
Yeah, slide 41.
Okay, this one. Okay.
All right. I'm just a student of geology, so I do not know much. But this at the 85 degrees east and 92 degrees east is the oceanic ridge. Is that correct?
This is the ridge axis. Along the ridge axis, this is the high topography. We think we found some volcanoes here, so it is the volcano ridge.
Volcano. Okay. Yeah. So now, is this a spreading ridge? It is, the ridge is spreading west-east.
No. Spreading south-north. This is the spreading way.
I see.
This profile is along the ridge axis in the valley.
I see. So it's spreading north-south.
Yes, this is the
North-south.
spreading way.
Okay. In school, we learn this mid-oceanic ridge, Atlantic mid-oceanic ridge. They push the African continent away from the South America, is the mid-Atlantic oceanic ridge.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
okay.
Here,
Yeah. The mid-oceanic ridge here, it pushes this South America and what do you call this, Africa away. They push away. That's what I learned from school.
Yeah.
Now this Gekka Ridge.
Yes,
Is the Gekka Ridge responsible to push the Euro-Asian continent southward?
Yes, this is the Gekka Ridge. This is the spreading way, direction.
So is it responsible? The ridge is responsible to push the Euro-Asia.
And America, North America.
From North America, is it true?
Maybe, because I'm. Let's see this photo, and this is the Gekka Ridge. This is the Euro-Asian. This is North America.
North America, and this is the Euro-Asian plate. So this ridge actually pushing the North American plate and the Euro-Asian plate.
We can only say this ridge is the boundary between the Euro-Asia plate and the North American plate. And I'm not sure now the full direction of the Euro-Asia plate and the North American plate, because the plate direction, move direction, and maybe sometimes not similar with the spreading ridge directions. But this is the boundary.
Yeah, this is the boundary. Yeah.
Yeah. In the local zone, you can say they push the two plates away. But for the whole plate, maybe as you know, maybe the direction is this way, because the Pacific is subducted to the North American plate. So maybe it move this way. So not this way.
Oh.
You see.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for question.
All right. Thank you. The floor is still open. Any more questions? I think I saw one more hand raised. All right. I think there are no more questions. We would like to thank you all for joining us. First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Nui for such a wonderful presentation. It was very informative, and I believe we all had a great time, and we've learned a lot from this session. So just as Dr. Daniel said, we should all try and sign up for the YouTube channel, as well as the attendance, which is very necessary. So, Dr. New, I would like to thank you for such a
Thank you.
wonderful session. All right. And we would also like to, all of us, to turn on our camera so that we can take a group photo.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we have only few people. Can we have the rest turn on their cameras if possible?
So,
All right.
okay, I will quit.
Okay. All right. We all say 1, 2, 3. Yes.
Yes.
All right. One more. Okay. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
everyone, for joining.